What's up, guys? So, it's been a long time since I've really done this. So I stopped doing the bongos. I actually had to make a little bit more money to build up a little bit of a guitar arsenal for myself because I actually like playing the guitar. But that's like an old habit of mine. If it wasn't drumming, it was playing the guitar. So either way, so I just got the Telecaster pretty much completely done. I don't know if I ever even did a video of the Telecaster whenever I first gotten it. But the thing is, and this is gonna be a little bit of a talk because there's two people there on my oh shit list right now, and here's the reason why. So my friend that's a guitarist, he's a gigging guitarist, and he has been for probably the past 5 years. And he's been touring. He's been doing these like city to city stuff, which is fine. And he's been out of the state for quite some time. Well, he messaged me about 8 months ago, or even probably even 10 months ago. It wasn't quite a year yet, so about probably 8 or 10 months ago. And he said that he wanted a Telecaster as his next build. And I said, well, why are you telling me this? Because I don't, well, at the time, I didn't have an amplifier. I didn't have a guitar. I didn't even have anything really going on. I mean, yeah, I had like a cheapy Telecaster, but that's not worth any money. Might as well just lend it to him, and if he feels like doing whatever with it, then shoot. If he just destroys it, then shoot, I can understand giving me like $200 or something. But anyhow, so so um, he said he wanted a Telecaster build. I said, what do you have in mind then? After I was like, why are you telling me this? And he said, I was, because I was told that you know how to build up guitars because I'm part-time electrician. So I told him, okay, well, send me what you like. And he sent me and I do a lot of offer up stuff, but I research before I purchase. So I have a good idea of what I should be paying for it. So so I got a offer up link, and I loaded up the link. There's this one Telecaster, which if you guys message me by Gmail or something, or even look at my Facebook, I got a picture of my Telecaster on there. So so I loaded it up. I looked at it, and I saw it. Well, it's at 520 bucks or $550, something like that. And I said, all right. And I saw that they're in Chandler. I said, okay. He was like, you pay for everything that you want to throw to this thing. I'll pay you later whenever you complete it, regardless. I said, okay, I'll do that. So, and I had humbuckers just sitting in my gun safe. So I said, why not? And I had a capacitor sitting in my desk. So I also right then and there I said, why not? And a few knobs, selections of knobs. And anyhow, and I got to him about a week after that. And may I remind you, this was 8 to 10 months ago. I got to him a week later whenever I bought the guitar. But this is what he doesn't know is that the guy that posted up the sale on this guitar was originally asking $720. I told him that I bought it for $700 because because I pretty much talked him down from it because it's a brand new neck that's on here, but it's not the original neck, and you have to face facts about that. But overall, I was like, hey man, I spent $700 on this POS guitar. I'm getting ready to work on it for you. No response. So I put the pickups in it. I put a monetary kill switch in it. I made it so it looks like a show guitar, like, and I wouldn't mind it hanging on my wall. It's a little heavy. I mean, it's a Telecaster, and I'm sure it's not ash, but it's got a maple insert. So so it had a maple insert back here, so that this can't go nowhere. This can't go nowhere. This is a BC neck off of a 80s something BC Rich guitar, which makes sense. Um, and yeah, this is one of my ideas. It turns it into a hardtail guitar. And this is what I find extremely unique on this guitar is this bridge pattern. This bridge pattern is a Nashville style Epiphone Gibson bridge. This you will not find ever in a million years. You'll never find it like this, or you'll never find it with these double humbuckers. You'll never find it like this. You'll find stuff that is like the deluxe Telecaster Deluxe, but you will or the Telecaster Deluxe Custom, but you will never find this type of guitar that's this heavy, particularly most of the part of this heavy, virtually unabused. It is a 1980s Telecaster, so chances of it's either a mahogany, it's a it's not a maple, but it would be a mahogany or an ash. Due with some years, they got like a twist on some years, but this is not no cheapy Squire. Okay, I mean Squires did come out back then, but this is a pretty dense guitar. I mean, it weighs a ton. I put some locking guitar straps on here, locking tuners back here. Oh man, I lost a tuner. Oh shoot, it's probably over there on the floor or something. Um, but yeah, it's virtually it's indestructible. And I put a monetary kill switch down here. That little button right there. I changed it from a four-way switch because I couldn't get coil tapping to click in. So I put in a three-way. Just took that out. I put an orange drop in here also. I put the pick guard on. I had to custom make a pick guard for it because no pattern for a double humbucker sits like this. But anyway, so that's pretty much that guitar. Now, whenever I priced out everything, I did it to where it's all the parts and all the pieces to where it's a fully functional guitar. And what he wasn't happy about was the fact that he thought I was going to tell him, you just pay me the $600 and you take it and go away because cash is king. So I told him, and I told him honestly, I said, these pickups that I had, they're brand new pickups. They've been sitting in my gun safe for the past, they've been sitting in a desk of mine back whenever I was a teenager. And then once I had a gun safe, by the time I was moved out, then they went into that gun safe and they stayed in that gun safe. And then I threw them in there praying that they work. And then they just work. One's a DiMarzio, and then the other one's a Seymour Duncan. So, or Seymour, Seymour, whatever. So anyhow, either way, I threw all these parts and all these pieces on here. Brand new graphite Torx nut as well, and he got mad at me whenever I priced up everything. That it came over just over $1,000, and he thought that I threw another $600 and then taking some off, and I said no, I'd never do that. And then he was like, well, dude, why are you telling me it costs like $1,000 for this guitar? And I told him because it's the numbers, the serial numbers match, the models match, the materials match. It's almost like everything that you pay for has a price tag in the end. Okay, like say you wanted a Rolls Royce or a Ferrari or something like that, versus having a Ford Mustang. If you get what I'm talking about right there, the exotic things, or you could have what at one time it was called just the get me buys. You could either have those nice pristine things, but when one part goes out on that thing, it costs a pretty penny. it just costs any of us a pretty penny. So that would pretty much where I was telling him, I'm not doing it like that to you. I'm just making sure that you know that this is what you had me go out and buy. And then this conversation was about 3 weeks ago. And then he came back to me about a week ago. And he said, okay, I'll buy the guitar. And I told him I just painted it. What are you doing painting a guitar, man? Because it's my guitar. You ditched me with a guitar for the past 8 months. I didn't know what you wanted me to do with it. If the thing was gone, if I told you a white lie and then it ended up being here, I told you I got it out of my room, it's gone now. You would have gotten mad at me because you would have thought that I'm lying to you, but I'm not lying to you. All right, so that's the Telecaster. So I'm probably never gonna sell this guitar just because it's so different. I mean, it is heavy, but it's a guitar that I'll probably never get to see in my life ever again. So I'm gonna keep this guitar. Now, this other guitar that is my very next build for myself. And it's not really just for myself. It's actually for my friend to see if, because he said that he could play a Les Paul better than I could play the Telecaster. And I said, well, it doesn't matter how you look at it. I mean, there's no real functionality differences. I mean, we're just dudes effing around with broomsticks, basically. Like if the thing had like a tremolo bridge, a suspension bridge, or even like even a bunch of switches, like I think the Jazz Masters or the Jaguars ended up having, or the Mustang maybe. I can't even remember. It would be like one of those guitars versus a broomstick. It would be simple as that. It would be a no brainer. I mean, yeah, one of them's gonna have a different kind of tone to it, which the Les Paul is quite untouchable. Um, but this guy was my friend from a well, not a long time ago, but he's now on, what is that called? Witness protection program, because of something to do with the drugs that was going throughout there in Mesa, I believe, or Phoenix. And I haven't seen him for quite some time until just recently. Now, let me tell you this. Back whenever I was a teenager, he had long hair, very skinny kid, and get in fights, talk shit, have sex, do drugs, get drunk, and do it all over again. But now, and I was with him whenever I first started hanging out with him. This was his guitar that he came home with, but this isn't how it came home. This is how he gave it to me. I did come up with all the extra parts and pieces. The only thing he gave me, because it didn't have a nut, it didn't have any tuners, it didn't have a switch, it didn't have any pickups, didn't have plates, it didn't have um, the bridge pattern. It didn't have it didn't come with anything, even a jack. So, but he was trying to originally take it to the pawn shop so he could get some money out of it. So he took it completely apart to fix up his other guitars that he had at the time, because his family's rich. He has more than 8 guitars, phenomenal build guitars, and then he's got a couple of them that are kind of like this, where they're just cheap shit guitars, but he fixes them up, and then he just has his way with them, and then eventually he'll probably sell them or give them away to like some kid that's in need or something, like just whatever, and walk off and fade away in the distance. Um, but this is what originally happened. So he took it to a pawn shop, bare minimum, no nut, no tuners, no strings, no pickups, no nothing. I mean, like literally, I'm about to show you the build of this guitar, or not the build of it, but I'm going to show you what kind of guitar it is I'm talking about. And I remember back whenever he first got in the guitar brand new, and this was back in 2000 and probably 2007. Probably 2000. Yeah, it would have been 2007 because I would have been a freshman in high school. Um, um, he ended up he ended up buying a brand new Les Paul Custom, which anybody that knows that guitar particularly, that is used by a couple of different guitarists. Like Zakk Wylde played one, Randy Rhoads played one. Slash didn't play a custom. He played I think he played the classic or he played a tribute or something. But yeah, it was all. I mean, literally, they're well known. And but the the Les Paul custom either comes as the what is called the Black Beauty, which is a 3 pickup, a 3 humbucker, haven. I mean, it's heaven basically, and it's all black with gold hardware. And I think you can even get it in white or natural or something like that. Now, the other two are called the other one's Alpine White, which is Randy Rhoads' old guitar. I like that guitar. That's just sick guitar to look at. And then there's the other one, which is what people would call the Black Beauty, but it's not the Black Beauty. It's just a double humbucker with black and gold hardware. That's basically the only setback is you're only getting that. Well, I got the Black Beauty. Well, not the Black Beauty. I got the which would be the Les Paul Custom. So here it is. Here's Gibson Les Paul Custom. And don't worry, I already looked at it and weighed it and all this. I almost can't wait until I fix it up. It's gonna be fixed by sometime around my birthday, maybe. Um, I don't know if I really want to put Grovers and all that stuff on it, but I might, but I can't bet on it. Because I'm used to using locking tuners and official Nashville stuff and all that other kind of mumbo jumbo. It would kind of hurt me sentimentally not to do it. That's what it's kind of like a hard line break, hard habit, really. Um, and so yeah, but the story about that guitar, back to that. So then he, so then he asked me if I was interested in another guitar, Les Paul, Les Paul build, and I was like, well, I never had a Les Paul build, man. And then he was like, would you be interested in a Les Paul? And I said, for for what money? And then he was like, I'm looking at getting $750. That's easy to think. I mean, what kind of Les Paul is it? He was like, it's a Gibson Les Paul. I was like, well, that's not really answering all too much to me because there's too many different finishes, there's too many different years and too many different models, there's too many different types of things that come up into play. And so then he said to me, you do you have text messaging? And I said, everybody has text messaging. Why? He was like, I'll send you pictures. He sent me pictures of certificate of authenticity, certificates or receipts of him removing fret nibs, getting fretwork done, blah 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 blah. Um, Eventually, I was just like, is he being serious? Well, this is the thing. 870 bucks at a pawn shop for any kind of Gibson would be, I'm not going to say the highest you could probably get it get it out of it for it. But you're gonna have to come down just a tiny bit. And the reason why is because they mark their stuff up to resell it. If it is the real deal. So I ended up looking up the serial number and tracing back that serial number. And I did this twice. One told me that it wasn't available anymore, but it showed up as a 06 Gibson Black Beauty model Les Paul Custom with the two pickups and everything. And I said, okay. And history on origins, where's it coming from? Or the birthplace of origins is what I usually say it is. And it said Nashville, Tennessee. The serial number on the back of the headstock, which is 673. That's Nashville. I said, all right. And it was made on the June 21st. I think I said it was June 21st. So that's okay. And I did contact a few people, and I said, can you help me locate this guitar? Because my friend's trying to probably F me over on this. And they're like, sure. What do you have for a serial number? And I said, it's said to be a 06 Black Beauty from Nashville, Tennessee. And that is so hard for me to say because they don't exist. And they're like, well, there's a few telltale signs. And I was like, I bet there is. I truly believe that there is. And I did look at the wood, because you can physically see it. Like sometimes you actually have to look back in here and scrape a little bit of wood out of here. And you'll find a dark color of wood. That's the maple. And then on here, there should be a good amount of that's the mahogany back here. Now, once you flip this over and you look at the top, there should be like this vanilla looking wood, and it should be about this big. It will be the maple. That's the curved maple top, or the carved maple top. So that all checked out. The wood checked out. The weight of it checked out. The measurements on the potentiometers checked out. The angles, because I had an old potentiometer, because this is actually a push pull on my Telecaster now, that I stuck the potentiometer in there, and I kind of stuck a pencil in there with some putty, and I just stuck it in there just to kind of simulate if potentiometers were to be sticking out, how would they be looking and all that stuff. It checked out. I mean, I'm so surprised about this thing that my friend just gave up on. Now, it does have a few damages on it, but, those are minor damages. I mean, this thing's probably got a long ways to go before all the way it breaks. Now, here's the bad part, is when somebody's going to tell me that every single Gibson came this way. No, they did not. Not every single Gibson came this way. Some Gibsons don't have mother of pearl inlays. Some Gibsons only have markers. Some of them do, some of them don't. You can't overwhelm them. Now, here's the other thing that also happened, is that I know what I'm looking at. That's not real mother of pearl. That is on the fretboard. Now, get this. Even the guy I was talking to that was Gibson's representative said that is that fretboard black. And I said, no, it was never black. And then he was just like, wow, you actually might have a real Gibson right there then. Because they originally, because what that is, it's supposed to be an ebony guitar. So they originally came with ebony fretboards. But a lot of the fake ones, they were just dyed black. They were just dyed off black. Kind of like take a Sharpie to it. And yeah, you'd find out whenever you stop playing it. So I and I was kind of mad about that my friend my friend wanted to try and get $750 out of me. But now I'm kind of questioning, why did he not destroy it, but why did he dismantle it, and then he's expecting to get money out of it? Why didn't he just take apart one of, because he has an Epiphone at home. And I was like, why didn't he just take apart an Epiphone from his house and then throw the parts in there and then just turn around and sell it? I mean, what's stopping him? Because all he has to do is walk into a pawn shop. They go, whoa, how much you want? How much were you trying to get for that? And then if all he had to say was, I'm going through hard times, I gotta get at least $600 for this thing, most likely he's gonna get it. Well, those guitars brand new, they went for probably 1,300 something, almost 1,400 bucks. So it's almost kind of hard for me to believe that I have one just sitting in my room. But however, there is a few other problems with it. So here's the other problem with it. It fell off a wall mount, and it clipped on the ground. It clipped a floorboard. And then right back here, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's got a nice little, it's got no neck joint in it, but it's got a nice little finish crack on it. I don't know if that's really a bad thing. But overall, the guitar is well sound, and truss rod matches up. The serial number matches up. The only thing I gotta do is just completely rebuild the thing. And there goes my other bruisers. So, but yeah, my friend, I feel like my friend kind of put me in a predicament, because now some people are saying, like, well, you'll never appreciate it like how so and so. The hardest thing that I have to say about that is that the reason why I would appreciate it, kind of like how I appreciate this Telecaster right here, even though I don't like playing it, it'd be like, I appreciate it because I put the time into building it up. Not because of what it is, even though that's pretty cool what it is, but it's not like I care, but it's cool. Like I found out, like, whenever I went there to pick it up, the guy was like, "Oh man, you're getting a pretty sound guitar. How old are you?" And this was an older guy. This was an older guy that sold me the guitar. He had it for 12 years, never touched it. And I was like, cool, And it got handed down to him from an uncle that I guess did all the work to it. Because if you look at it, if you look at it, where the bridge and everything's all sound, it's, it's nice and it's straight. It's virtually straight. I love this guitar. But he ended up letting it go because he had no real connection with his uncle. Just said, get it out of here. Now with these two guitars being on my wall, that'd be pretty cool. Now it's getting me looking at my collection. How do I up my collection? Do not know how I'm gonna do it, because it's to the point where I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I have my other two acoustics that I could show you guys and another topic. I saw a video of one of my friends, and he sent me a video on my email account, and we don't do podcasts, but we sometimes call each other and we fuck around with each other, and we do sometimes the messenger stuff on Facebook, and yeah, we will screw around, but we don't hold podcasts. We talk like we do, but we don't. And one of my friends' other acquaintances, he said that he wouldn't bring to a dive bar one of his good guitars, such as this Telecaster or even if a brand new Gibson. And I said, why? What's wrong with that? And he said, oh, I don't know. My friend or the guy just said, because if something happens to it or it gets stolen. And what I would say, if someone just stole my guitar, I would have said, you know what? If he's not performing, why in the hell does he have a guitar? Like, he better be able to show us a chord or two, or even a scale, maybe. Yeah, and he better show us something. He got a freaking car payments worth and rent paid on a guitar. What in the world? you know? And then meanwhile, this dude's wondering where his guitar's at. You know? That's like pretty much, you know, big slap in the ass right there. But anyhow, but me, I'm well known around my city. I'm born and raised out in Mesa, Arizona. But Mesa and Gilbert, Arizona. But at the same time, whenever I heard that, it kind of made me question myself. He's right, but he's not all technically right. I mean, he's stating something legit, but is not really making my ambitions halt my actions, because I would take my Gibson or my Fender to any other gig if I ever still gigged. But I don't gig no more. I used to go to like big block parties, which most likely get my guitar stolen. And I think honestly a lot of my other guitars are better looking than that. Like, look at this. I don't know if I even showed you my other two guitars, but my most cherished guitar is what I'm gonna try and show you first. So I'll be right back. Okay. So this is my grandfather's Fender, old school Fender Redondo. This is my favorite guitar. I remember this guitar from back when I was a little kid. Now, this guitar actually broke a long time ago. The plate of it, the faceplate of it, was actually peeling. So right here, there's actually a shell, and then this is just a plate that kind of just gets glued onto the face or in front of the shoulders of the guitar, and then back here it was busted open. Well, I had to obviously make a few minor repairs and get it all well sustained out again. Now I can actually play it, because at the time it was a little bit, and it's out of tune, but it's actually easier. But either way, so that's this guitar. This is my prized possession. Now, this guitar right here is the guitar that a lot of people would probably not want, but this is the coolest guitar ever. It's a guitar that I had to fix. And I actually helped my friend's dad fix it. So this is a Dean Masters SD. This guitar got made back in 1998 to the year of 2001 or 2000. Wasn't even all that popular of a guitar. It's extremely light, and it's made with fairly cheap wood. Now, the cool part about this guitar is it has no headstock on it, because it had gotten destroyed by one of my friends, and so the dad wanted to restore the guitar. So I helped him one day, and his son left, and I stopped by there to see if his son was there. Son not being there, talked to the dad. Dad said, "Hey, I still got that guitar out back." And I went, "What guitar?" And we walked back there, and I was like, "Oh man, there's that old Dean." And then he was like, "Yeah, I'm still trying to fix it." And I'm like, "Well, shoot, why don't you just take like some Fender tuners, and he listened to exactly what I said. He actually he actually listened to exactly what I said. He took the old school bar Fender tuners, put them down there, mounted everything up, did all that other stuff. Man, dude, he did such a good job. This guitar is the shit. but yeah, so but yeah, I gotta let you guys go. But leave me a comment or leave me some kind of feedback to where I know what I can do for my next video at least. Because a lot of my friends miss me going on Facebook Live or Periscope or even Omegle or some shit like that. And we would run into each other eventually. But lately I have nothing really to talk about. And like I said, I stopped doing bongos, I stopped doing tattoos. I got me a 412. I don't know if you guys ever even heard about that. I picked me up a 412 and a head amp from helping one of my friends move. I picked up another pedal from Boss. It's a super octave pedal. I love that pedal. It's a brown 9-volt battery. Um, the auxiliary powered pedals. I love that pedal. That pedal is amazing. Um, but yeah, so let me know whenever you guys watch this video and tell me what you guys think about what I should do next, or at least what kind of pickups should I kind of put into that guitar, because I know what potentiometers I want to put. I want to do split coil with a P90 setup. So what you have to do is you have to take, and I'm gonna put the P90 in the neck position because I love neck position on my Telecaster. So I'm gonna do P90 push pull potentiometer on my neck volume setting, and then I'm gonna put push pulls on both of my tones, and then I'm gonna redo the switch, obviously. But this time I'm gonna leave off the coin, the little tremble, and rhythm thing. I'm gonna leave that off because I was never really a fan of it to start with. But yeah, like I said, I got more than $590 worth of stuff to throw at that guitar. So, but like I said, I got that guitar for free as payment for helping him move. So that's pretty cool. But I did pay him like $150 just to set him off for the deal. But anyhow, I guess that's pretty much all I have really to talk about. Cheers, guys, and have a Merry Christmas.